This conference will now be recorded.
Cool. All right, so thank you everyone for joining us today on this session for being creative in marketing during this crisis. Our second session. We did our first one last week, and just to kind of give you a little background about VBOUT and our community, we actually used to do this on a monthly basis. So we meet once a month in New York City. We do meetings that discusses different topics in marketing, whether we're doing marketing automation, email, social selling, voice marketing. So you think about it, we probably discussed it in the past 5 years. So we're pretty on that front, and our New York community is fantastic. We usually gather about 50 to 60 people in the room, and we eat pizza, we meet, we network. But unfortunately, during this time, it's not possible, right? So we move things online, and this gives us a little wider reach. And as you guys might have gotten the invite, it might have been through LinkedIn or through other communities. So thank you so much for attending. I'm gonna screen real quick with you, just to give you a little background here as well. Okay. By the way, you guys might have been used to Zoom. We use GoToMeeting, so it's already fully embedded in our stuff. So if you're not used to GoToMeeting, this is probably like a workaround Zoom for the time being. All right, tell you a bit more about our community. So we are a combination of about 8 different meetups that discusses topics from startup success to again marketing topics. A lot of the stuff we do are marketing focused, but at the same time we have a lot of experts that join us from digital agencies who are on top of their game and they're focused on niche, let's say on SERP or on voice search or even on marketing automation. And the other side, we have small businesses who join us and attend our events, primarily to learn from the experts. So it's a great gateway for us to connect both sides of the world, the experts, as well as the businesses who need to learn and are trying to engage. Now, out of this meetup, a lot of things have been forged over the past few years. Companies have found recruits and experienced individuals are looking for opportunities. People actually found co-founders on our events, which is pretty exciting. People have gotten clients from these events. So it's really refreshing to see that the community of 15,000 members right now is actually getting the value out of what we offer. Okay, we don't charge for our events. Everything we do is sponsored by VBOUT, which is my startup. And we don't really sell. This is not a hard sell. Everything we do is literally just community contribution. So you want to contribute as much as possible. We want to learn from you because I know most of you are very experts in what they do. So I would love to get feedback and learn. And this has been literally one of my universities for the past 4 or 5 years. Is every time I do this event, I meet at least 2, 3 very interesting people, and I learn at least a couple of new things. So that's what we strive for in our meetups. I also highly encourage you guys to leverage the meetup, the LinkedIn groups, and our book group, which we're expanding on. And I'm gonna put the link in the chat. So you can spread the word. If you're asking for a recruit, if you're looking for someone, if you're asking for advice, you can literally find all that stuff online. So it's at your fingertip. All right, before we get started with our format for today, if you have your LinkedIn URL handy, please put it in the chat. I know it's somewhere on the controls. Let us know who you are so we can go online after this is done, and we will have some chance to speak after the event. All right, so here's what we're gonna do for today. We usually do introductions. We'll go around every person. I would like you to introduce yourself, tell me your name, company, and how did you have to pivot your business during this particular event. And if you have a question you want to share, by all means, you can share it so we can discuss it after. Once we do, we finish everyone, I would love to go around and start discussing, creative ways or things people are doing so they could adapt to the situation, primarily marketing or business assistance and stuff like that. And finally, I want to introduce a plan that we're offering to the community at no cost, and also a couple of points that we've compiled as of what you should be doing as a marketer. And just a quick bonus, I kind of built together a funnel for a successful webinar. So that could be something you guys can adapt, or maybe you can take it to your clients, or you can use it for your own business. Okay. So we can go ahead and get started, guys. I would love to kind of start going around just to ask each one of you, what do you do, your company name, and how did you have to pivot in this particular circumstance to adapt to your business? I can either take a volunteer, or I can just randomly pick someone from the crowd here. Who would like to go first? Let's see. Nathan, I would love to have you start if you don't mind.
Sure, sure. First of all, quickie. So I'm new to this GoToMeeting. Where is this chat that I can enter my LinkedIn information? How do I find that?
There is those controls. One of them looks like a bubble, chat bubble. I got a couple of people putting in.
Yes. Got it. Great, thank you.
You got it. Awesome. Yeah.
Got it. So, Nathan, out of New York, but out of New York City, where our home base is. But working at home, and I'm sure everyone is also, and I hope everyone is very, very safe. Again, I thank you, Richard, for doing this webinar and education series. So I'm new to the data science world and marketing world. And well, our firm does data science. We do targeted marketing. We ingest big data, and we know that Richard would like to buy a Lamborghini that's green with a dancing hula girl in the front icon. But kidding aside, so I actually come from a more technical background. I'm a CTO there, so I'm helping develop the pipeline, productionizing the methodology. We have a great data science team. And again, we do targeted marketing. And I guess my general question would be, I'm sure, as everyone knows, the economy is really in bad shape. I hope it comes up quickly. We're interested to get people's view on the world, on how they see the economy coming back, and obviously that we have a short-term, medium-term, and long-term projections. So we just want to get a sense of what people are doing, what people are projecting, and to me, that I think the most important feature on any recovery really will be testing and having a vaccine, just for people to have certainty and confidence in the environment, in their work environment, in their travel environment, in their entertainment environment to go forward. So that normalcy will be key in terms of our marketing, where our marketing is. Again, we're planning short term, medium term, and long term. And I hope it's more short term just for everyone's sake.
Got it. Thank you so much. So I noted the question was how people are projecting, their business, the work habits, and on that front. Is that right? So we can discuss it when we finish the. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. This was great, Nathan. Jose, would you like to go? Jose Antonio.
Hi. Nice hearing from you, Richard. I'm based in Chile. What we're facing here is we had some social disorders in late October and November, and then we have this quarantine thing. Businesses very, very, let's say, frozen around here. But what we are doing is reaching for past customers and trying to get to those people that have the opportunity to look like a boost for their businesses in this current situation. We have a particular customer that's into this, and we are let's say something like making some modifications in some projects that we had already agreed on before this quarantine thing. But we're very busy right now.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
You're a digital agency, right, Jose?
Yeah, I have a digital agency for 10 years plus.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Jose. Welcome.
Bye. Thank you.
All right, Paulina, would you like to go next? And by the way, guys, if you're muted, you can unmute yourself. There's also that little mic option. If you cannot activate your mic, we totally understand. We'll skip you. So I have Polina. Are you able to? Okay, I guess we'll come back to you. Jennifer?
Hi.
Hi, Jennifer. So just a quick kind of intro. We're just going through each person to introduce themselves, their company, and how did they have to pivot during this crisis to adapt their business, their offering, or their lifestyle. That would be great, Jennifer, if you can share with us.
Oh, actually, I work with Elsa and Sean at Marketing. It's been a month, and yeah, we're taking into consideration the crisis according, like, with each client of us. So each one they have a different strategy on how to address this. So it depends on each client. We have to put the emotional factor with this.
Okay.
So like this helps.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. We have Hadba. Hadba, how are you?
Hi guys.
Hadba.
So I'm Hadba from VBOUT. I'm a co-host for this event. I work at VBOUT and at Markery. So now I have a lot to learn from the marketing. So whenever there is any webinar or meetup for marketing and crisis, you will find me there.
Good time to learn and see how people are adapting. Thanks, Hadba, for helping co-organize this. Ryan?
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Bogart. I'm part of the success team with VBOUT. So I work with the sales and the marketing to help grow revenue for the company. This is a challenging time for everybody. I do agree. And to your point, actually, I believe it was Jose, here in the digital marketing agency. It's interesting to see how things have kind of pivoted and switched based on what's happening in the world. Although what's happening in the world is very unfortunate right now, and I do believe the economy is going to turn around. I do believe there's been a shift into the need for people to want to market online. So this meeting that Rich is holding is very timely and definitely needed for all of us to kind of come together as a community and see how we can help one another. Because we've never been busier as a company right now. Our calendars are really filling up because people are just struggling to try and figure out how they can address the pain to their audience and really market to them appropriately to help them. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. And that's some of the things maybe we can share with you guys is of like what we're doing in the approach for us to drive more traffic now, knowing that people maybe not making decisions today, but maybe later. And by the way, Ryan is an amazing success manager. Ryan doesn't sell, he solves problems. And that's one of his success rate. He never gets on the phone to sell anybody. And that's probably the approach that's today's sales. It shouldn't be sell, sell, sell. It probably should be, what is the problem? Are we here to help? If we can, this is why we're the best solution for you. So if you have any sales questions, you can always get to Ryan. Ryan, did you share your LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. All right, we can move to Dan Wick all the way from down under. Hey, Dan.
Hey, hope everybody's going well today. We're a digital agency. We've been with VBOUT since, what, 2016, Rich?
Yeah, something like that. Time flies.
Yeah. And yeah, we're finding that it's a great time to be talking to people. Like Ryan, it's about solving problems, not about selling. Mm-hmm. But the solution that you introduced last week, Rich, has really gotten a lot of people talking and a lot of people interested, because now is a time when people who previously thought they didn't need a digital presence are realizing that they need one as part of their plan going forward. And the package which I see on the agenda you'll get into in a little while is a great no pressure, no commitment way for them to really dip their toes in and figure out where their path lies in the digital marketing space.
Awesome. And Dan has a lot of expertise in Magento and e-commerce. So I've seen him done some great stuff on that front. So if anybody needs Magento or e-commerce help, I know Dan can be a great resource. Dan, thank you for coming. I know it's
Thanks
7
very much.
a.m. or 7:20 right now for you, so it's crazy.
Yeah, yep. Good way to
Awesome.
start the day.
Absolutely. Okay, thanks. All right, move on to Vincent. Hey, Vincent.
How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for coming over.
I'm good. Yeah, I just graduated school a year ago and I just wrapped up a marketing internship or apprenticeship. And I'm affected by the sense of I'm looking for a job or a career, I should say.
Okay, what's your expertise?
I was just an account coordinator, junior account coordinator for a creative marketing agency.
Okay, and you're based where?
In New Jersey. I live in Jersey.
Jersey, okay. Yeah, Jersey has gotten it pretty hard. We have clients there who had to shut down their entire operations, so it's pretty tough.
Oh yeah,
thanks.
I bet.
Thank you, Vincent.
Okay.
Okay, we have Joe Homsey. Hello, Joe. We can't hear you, Joe, just in case you have the mic on. Okay, Joe might be having some technical issues. We'll skip you, Joe, until you get your mic, okay? Denise Rick.
Hi, I'm Denise. I'm currently based out of San Francisco, and like a couple other members on the call, I'm also working with Markery, but I'm working on their social side. So Markery builds B2B leads, and I'm managing like the curation of social content for our clients. So it's really important now for us to be able to tailor and craft messages that's suitable and sensitive of the current situation worldwide. And the reason we went with VBOUT too was so that we could integrate our lead generation management with our social management as well.
Thank you, Denise. And I know you guys are doing an amazing job leveraging LinkedIn to drive leads for businesses. So a lot of the businesses you guys are working with, and I know Sean, the president of the company, is with us as well. You guys are doing some amazing stuff, driving more business than ever. So that's it's telling you this could be an opportunity. Unfortunately, or sad to say, it's an opportunity for some businesses to thrive and for others to kind of reassess what they're doing. Welcome aboard, Denise.
Thank you.
All right, Scott, how are you?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, so my name is Scott Chappell. Richard, we met, I guess it's been like a year now.
Wow.
I work in non-traditional education, and I'm working on a startup in that space. And one of the things we do is conduct interviews with people that work in marketing. And my impression right now, so things are fine in terms of online education, obviously, and non-traditional education. I wouldn't say fine. I mean, people are, pretty cautious with discretionary spending right now for obvious reasons. But in terms of digital marketing, my impression is that there's kind of four pillars right now that, first of all, I think there's an opportunity for innovation. I think people need to press pause and understand that there's a longer sales cycle right now, and that's okay. And digital marketers that are comfortable with long sales cycles are probably not as much in shock or in panic mode right now. But everyone's got a long sales cycle right now. So what has to be adjusted is story, like brand story and storytelling, and the way you kind of approach your perspectives, and trust. It's a good time to establish trust and kind of solidify relationships. So I think trust is a big thing. And then on the digital front, some people I've talked to have been pivoting and doing like extending remarketing campaigns and planning against remarketing for a longer sales cycle.
Okay, very interesting. Awesome. I have a little recollection, Scott, but we do this so often that I apologize.
I know
you don't have your camera on, so
I'm trying to figure out how to turn it on.
No worries. All right, thanks for coming in. We have Jacques. Pavlini.
Yes, hi, Jacques Pavlini, 20-year B2B tech marketing veteran in New York, currently between jobs, so looking for my next opportunity as a marketing leader, and just like to attending these meetups to keep my skills fresh.
Awesome. So are you currently with the company or you're pivoting?
I'm currently between positions, so I'm actually interviewing right now with several companies for senior leadership positions. And been doing that since actually before the COVID-19. So this adds an additional wrinkle to my job search. But otherwise, proceeding.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for coming in, and definitely I would love to hear how this has changed with you, maybe during when we go to the roundtable, how your search has changed in this time. But thanks for coming in. And we have Adrian.
Hi, hi, this is Adrian Ruby. I'm also based here in New York. I work for MediaSmart. We're a DSP, a demand-side platform, if anybody is acquainted with programmatic. And so, yeah, I think somebody mentioned before, that this is a time for us to, we're used to long sales cycles because we're a platform play, by the way, and not competing with VBOUT in any shape or form. We're a totally different sort of product, but also, focused on clients, B2B clients, and the clients run campaigns in programmatic using our platform. But what we have had to do is we have two major, we call it products in our platform. One of them is drive to store. You advertise and you drive users to stores, which obviously right now is dead because all the stores are closed. However, there's another part of our business that is, and I should have mentioned this before. We're heavily focused on mobile. So I don't know if anybody of you are acquainted with these sort of figures, but since this COVID started, depending on what country you're on, or you're in, mobile traffic has skyrocketed more than 30%, depending on where in the lockdown period your country or your particular city is. So that has opened a number of other opportunities. Obviously, there's a lot of applications that are being downloaded just by organic word of mouth, like House Party and Zoom, that I'm sure many people were not as used to using Zoom. Now my daughter and my wife use it every day to talk to their friends. But it's what's going to be the new normal for a bit, and I think for a while. I think when we go back, at least here in New York, it's not going to be the way it was before. So we're trying to figure those things out. How the social distance is going to impact our world, but basically. What we're seeing is more than a nosediving of our revenue or of our clients, just a realignment of what kind of applications people use and what kind of value is currently being added by advertising.
Interesting. Thanks a lot, Adrian. We never met, right? This is your first time.
No, I've been to a couple. I was last year in a VBOUT, but I was with another company. I should mention that I've been with MediaSmart for about 4 months, and I was with another, demand side platform before that.
Okay.
If you saw me, you would recognize me, Richard. But
All right. I know most of you are in their PJs, so it's okay. Today we're not gonna pressure you to show your face. That's funny. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on board. I have letter R. There's no name to it. I don't know if you can, who I'm referencing to, letter R. Hopefully nobody made a mistake in your name when you're back in high school. All right, we can skip letter R. Okay, we got George with us. Hey, George.
Hello, guys. This is George Fallah, marketing manager at VBOUT.
Hey, George.
Hi, Richard. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Yeah. So I'm very happy. Okay, great, Ryan. I'm happy, guys, being part of this session. And Also nice to meet you all. I know that despite all the disadvantages that this crisis is having or leading, but at least we're it's good to meet you online and hear how each one's business is being impacted by the situation. And I know that this is leading to the rise of online communication. Some businesses are relying on digital marketing these days. And even when the coronavirus fades away, which we hope in the near future, I think that online marketing, those businesses that have recently using online marketing are going to keep using it. They are not going to, for example, giving up on it or switch to something else after the crisis fades away. So
like
this is a major thing. Yeah.
Crash course in marketing
So,
for everybody.
Yeah.
Cool, George. Welcome. Sean?
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. So I met Rich. I was working for a large digital marketing agency, and we were looking for a new marketing automation vendor. And I've worked with several throughout my experience with marketing automation, and I fully leaned into VBOUT. So in addition to Markery, it seems like a third of the company's on today. I'm also a partner at a company called Officer List. So we're a marketplace to help cops or LEOs, law enforcement officers, find jobs. And with the downturn, we're seeing a lot more people having security needs. And everything we do on Officer List on the marketing end is powered by VBOUT. So we've been working more closely with Rich and his team at VBOUT. So that's how I got to know Rich and be part of the community. Some people have mentioned, actually someone on the call recently mentioned mobile. So we're finding that too. So even when we're doing messages on LinkedIn, email, or any other third-party communication, we're doing a few tweaks. So there's been more and more people reading messages on mobile, even before COVID, but now especially with COVID. So we're writing very succinct messaging, but we're literally changing our drip messages. So we always A/B test messages, but we're changing the messages as frequently as maybe every other week, sometimes every week if we have enough statistical significant data, because things are changing so quickly that the more you can personalize based on current events. I mean, there's other factors, but right now the current events are so chaotic and are really driving business decisions. We're tweaking that, and we have like some campaigns where it's over 30% response rate. So we have a campaign where there's a company looking to do remote tutoring to people that are on the front lines, medical providers, nurses, doctors. And the messaging is so on point and so timely that this messaging might only work for a month, but the campaign is so perfect right now because we timed it correctly. And I think Jen said it on our team. We're very empathetic. So someone else brought it. I think it might have been Rich, and some people echoed it. But like learning is the new selling. So there's some companies we have that they have such, like we have a company, they build open air roofs like on stadiums, like it's $1 million projects. They're not affected. But for some of the smaller companies, they're building these things. We actually have one guy, he has something called the Tribe, and it's these closed groups, kind of like the meetups, but it's all educational content. And the idea is the more you can help people get through this, they're going to want to rely and work with you when things pass. So just think of it just like VBOUT's marketing automation provider. You want to have your own marketing automation type of community and content with your specific persona. So if you're in the tourism industry, we have someone in tourism right now that's slammed. They're doing webinars every week like Rich is doing, but for tourism operators that don't know what to do right now and how to get through COVID. So I think the more education you can get and the more specific you can get it, that's how you could all weather it and your clients could weather it.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Sean. Always great value. And by the way, Sean is great B2B persona testing / entrepreneur. I think what you guys are doing at Markery is amazing, especially how you can find the right persona, how you can do the different, crafting the message is not easy. So I know you guys do a lot of A/B testing on that. And I see a lot of effort in how you take a completely random persona on LinkedIn and you turn that into a book demo or book call on the calendar for someone. That's amazing. So keep up the good work. All right, so we have Young Bo Du. Hey, Young Bo.
Yes, good evening to you, and it's just a 5-year check-in more than anything else. We met for a few sessions after you presented at TechCrunch Disrupt in New York. It's almost 5 years ago, exactly, just a month away. And currently, so I'm still working with this group, Visionary, as I told you then, business development service. So I pivoted quite a bit since then, and launching a system of credits to be run on a blockchain for business development, referral and such. So looking at integrations again for CRM.
Okay, it's awesome. I remember. You quarantine in New York still?
Yep, well, just got back just in time from India when the travel restrictions hit, so that was fortunate. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good to reconnect, and welcome to the event again. All right, we have Vincent. I don't know if we did Vincent already. We might have a couple of Vincents.
I went already.
Okay. Sorry, I know a lot of people just joined as well. So, all right, Andreas.
No problem.
Hey everyone, Andreas here. I am a marketing and product development lead at a company called Freakalicious, and I also work with other small businesses and various clients, helping them with their digital marketing, specifically with like paid social. But I also sometimes do business development, other things that might need to be kind of done to really get the marketing going, or that relate to the marketing. As far as everything with COVID has been, I know I was on here with some of you guys not too long ago, so the situation hasn't changed too much. But for people who aren't familiar, I've had some clients kind of lose it. They can't really do anything right now. Not that they've necessarily shut down, but they've pretty much frozen, if not shut down. I've had other companies that are actually doing well, specifically the company I work for full time. They're doing really well right now because they're in food. So kind of a mixed bag in terms of how people are reacting to the situation. We are definitely getting on the educational side of things. We're actually putting together a research project that's going to help predict some of the trends that are kind of coming together in food, and using that as a sort of lead magnet for potential clients going forward. I definitely think that's going to be something we might revisit multiple times, because I feel that right now there's a lot of uncertainty. So if you take a temperature check of people, you might get like one idea of how people are thinking, and then as the situation shifts, then you might get another idea of how people are thinking, depending on how the situation changes. So I feel like the ability to educate people is going to be an ongoing one, because this situation is going to unfold much longer than just the actual lockdown that we're on right now. There's definitely going to be cascading economic effects, and there's going to be a lot going on. So definitely looking forward to getting involved with learning more about that kind of stuff. But we'll get into that with the roundtable.
Cool. All right, thanks, Andreas. We're gonna have to speed up through, guys, just to kind of touch up. Who do we have next? I think we have Lauren DeLisa. Hey, Lauren. And by the way, guys, if you have your LinkedIn profile, put it in the chat. We're sharing our LinkedIn so we can connect offline as well. There's a lot of conversation offline or after these events, so please feel free to do that right in the chat on the GoToMeeting. Thank you. All right, Lauren, were you able to get the mic going?
I was actually in a different room. I actually have to jump onto a call in LA soon, but I just got the email about this, so I said, well, let me just jump in for a couple of minutes and then scoot out just before, I guess, 6 o'clock Eastern time. But just nice to be able to hear, kind of other people's thoughts and what they're working on. So I'm what's called a digicultural trend analyst. That means that I look at and track the intersection of trends and sentiment in popular culture as it intersects with emerging tech behavior, most specifically AI, 5G, digital currency, blockchain, and to a certain extent, robots. I track this in terms of the impact on business and politics. And let's see, this takes kind of 3 different forms. I wrote about that wheelhouse at Forbes for the last 4.5 years as a contracted contributor in the space, although now I'm kind of transitioning over to Wall Street Journal. I have an agency that represents me to speak about this, I guess when we all get back to events and conferences. And then I have an agency that I run called Link, spelled phonetically, LNK, where we track a lot of these different trends much more in depth. We are asked to a lot of times commissioned to do various reports around them for everybody from the UN on up and on down. We create a lot of digital content as well for our clients and create kind of trend-driven events, either on behalf of ourselves or for clients who we're working with. Our last one, which we were just really very fortunate to get in before all of this took place, was at Sundance Film Festival. And it was a full day and a half conference looking at what we called the future of storytelling. IBM, Warner Media, and a very prominent law firm were sponsors. And it was really great. And I definitely agree with some of the other, I guess, attendees on this who are saying that, you know, I guess learning is the new selling, or at least a precursor to that. We're in a very fortunate position, I guess, because we kind of tend to do that. And sometimes, you know, it hasn't really been maybe as much top of mind. Now everybody wants to know, okay, what are the trends? How are you tracking them? You know, what are micro trends, et cetera? So we're very excited to see, I guess, how this kind of goes. Although, you know, again, to other speakers, or rather attendees' points, it is a little bit, you know, slow going. And so I guess for those who, you know, are still, you know, making the transition to working from home and all that, you're kind of just like, well, let's start to do something, because it's just such an opportune time now to either leverage different messaging to be able to also help people, or to be able to, you know, move into a larger trend narrative around, you know, content and more. So I think those who wait, and of course everybody can do what he or she feels is most natural, but I do feel that those who wait too long because of kind of being thrown off, I think those are going to be ones who have a very, very hard time kind of moving into this new world that we're fast approaching. So I guess I will, you know, kind of maybe shut up now, but I'm glad to be able to be part of this, at least for the next 20 minutes.
No, thanks. No, thanks. It's great feedback. I appreciate it. This is, we're all thinking about similar stuff. So hearing it from someone else just validates some of those ideas that we're kind of getting. So thanks, Lauren. All right, do you have Nicole? Nicole's with us. Going once. Just unmute yourself. Having trouble with the audio, no issues. We'll recircle back. All right, I can move to Andrew Hawks. Hey, Andrew. You're muted, Andrew.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Thanks for having me. I run a construction company in Michigan, a painting company. So we're shut down right now, and Nick Larson actually invited me into the group here, so I appreciate it, Nick. But yeah,
hey, Nick, thank you.
The last speaker there, I'm on the same page. I mean, we have a necessity as far as our business to be in person because we're doing a physical task of painting someone's house, etc. So I'm very interested in seeing how we can transition over to more remote of any kind, whether it's even in that business or a different business. So it seems like a very open time right now where you got to really figure out where the brass ring is, and grab it. So I'm excited to be talking to all you guys, and I appreciate you, having me as part of this.
Thanks for coming over, Andrew. Appreciate it. All right, we have Nick Vashev.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm Nick.
Hey Nick.
Yeah, I've been on these events before this COVID madness. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, I'm from AI Target. We are a Facebook marketing partner. See their decline from our clients, like their marketing budgets. I would say that like an average overall is like 30-50% of decline overall. Some of them like closing totally, some of them like increasing their budget based on their sub-vertical. Like delivery, definitely feeling good. Fashion, feeling okay. But yeah, some of them, like we focus on e-com, but like I would say most of verticals are not feeling really good. They pause, or they like, some of them like small businesses shutting down right now. But yeah, I think that yeah, we just need to wait and like spend this time on something that we didn't do before, like maybe refining something like marketing, like more educational stuff. Yeah, and I'm looking at that quite positive, because like if you're looking at like financial markets right now, it sounds like they starting to find something positive there. So market starting to grow a little bit. So maybe we just need to wait like 1-2 months and everything will be better. Definitely it will not be the same, like social distancing, stuff like that. But I believe that we will like find a way how to communicate with each other, how to work, and like move on.
Right. Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Frank Farrell? Frank? No problem. You are muted. You are still muted, Frank. It might be a little red mic. Maybe I can.
Hello,
here we
hello,
go.
hello. There we go. The audio. Test 1, 2.
You're in, Frank.
Okay, so my name is Frank Farrell. In a company called Custom Video Productions. We have 2 locations. One's in the Jersey Shore in Red Bank, and the other is in Naples, Florida. Fortunately, we are very busy. We're doing a lot of live streaming. We do a lot of online educational things. So, one business folds and the other one, increases. And so I started in 1978, this company. Basically, this is all I've ever done, is produce corporate video and tell stories. So everybody's, reinventing themselves and having to tell their story, which I've been doing, I think, for a long, long time. So I'm pretty comfortable, even though the hair is not a great hair day. The bottom line is that I'm usually behind the camera instead of in front of the camera. And so today I'm obviously in front of the camera. So I also have a podcast called Video Marketing and Mayhem, and teaches a little bit about video production and why it's important now more than ever. And everybody has
Put the link, Frank. Put the link. Put the link in the chat, Frank.
Okay, I'll do that.
Guys,
so
sign up. Sign up to Frank's podcast. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll do that in a second. So I get up every day, and really pumped about what I do. I've never had to work a day in my life because I love what I do. So fortunately, I'm not shut down because I have a laptop, and most of my work is conducted on a laptop. And so we just booked a pretty decent sized client, and we're doing a live cooking show. So what's happened is this chef wants to sort of give back to the community, and he's going to be preparing dishes for a family of 4, and it's a live interactive cooking show. So that's pretty much about me. I have a small team, and again, the company's called Custom Video Productions in New Jersey as well as in Florida. And luckily, before the zombie apocalypse hit, I'm here in Florida. I'm here in Naples, which is absolutely beautiful. So it's a good place to get stuck. And it's for me, it's business as usual. So it's no different for me because I'm always using technology and using the tools to tell somebody's story. So now is the time to really think about what your story is and what is that story going to look like when all this ends. So is it your beginning story, or is it the end story? So hopefully it's a new beginning. And if, I always tell people, I go, look at every day, if you look in the mirror and say, oh, my head, the world's coming to an end and my head's purple, well, your head's going to be purple. So my feeling is this is a huge opportunity. People have to realize it's an opportunity, and it's certainly not the end of the world. So the media blows it out of proportion. And yes, you got to take it seriously, but that's my take on all this. It's an opportunity.
Just got disconnected here for a second. You guys there?
I'm here.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I got cut off for a second, guys. Apologies, Frank. but I certainly appreciate the energy. This is awesome. Thanks for thanks for this, and don't forget to put the link. Okay, I would love to kind of drive some foot there to see what you're offering. I'm pretty sure you have a lot of value. All right, Scott Chappelle. Hey, Scott.
Hey, yeah, I talked. I already introed.
You're good. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Got Nick Larson. Hey, Nick.
Hey, what's up, gang? Thanks for the time. So big fan of Rich and Sean, what you guys are doing here. So thank you for creating this community. My name is Nick Larson. I started a company about 2 years ago called Contento. The goal is to help you shine online. So if you think the process of social media and being visible on Google, you know, traditionally that takes maybe like $10,000, $15,000 a month, or a couple hours per day, or expertise in the space. What Contento does is makes that all irrelevant. So if you think an artificial intelligence platform with human intelligence, like a point of contact to help you get more leads and social credibility, that's this thing we've built. So we have about 172 customers, 12 people. We're backed by Google. We landed a round with them probably like 4 months ago, growing quickly. And yeah, we're having fun.
Awesome. Welcome, Nick. Very resourceful, active person. If you guys should definitely connect with Nick, and he has his LinkedIn in the chat, so you can get with him and chat. All right, thanks. Bradley Jobling. Bradley, welcome back.
Yes, and I'll just be real quick. I do digital marketing for a nonprofit. We do cataract surgeries in developing countries. Right now, we're still trying to get a gauge on things. They're kind of slowing down, but performing some of the, building up my lead generation campaigns, basically, that I haven't had a chance to work on in the past. That's my story.
Awesome. Thank you, Bradley, for coming back again. All right, we have Ram Lier, Ram Lier. Hopefully I said this right.
No, it's Ram Iyer.
Ram Iyer,
That's
okay. Sorry.
I've been called liar many times, but not this time.
I figured I said it wrong. Okay, go ahead, Ram.
Oh, yeah, it's just pronounced as higher without the H, Iyer. Anyway, this is my first time. I am usually based in Princeton, New Jersey. Right now, I'm on the Jersey Shore writing a book. I worked at Boeing, Lucent. I'm an MIT alum. I used to be the president of the Alumni Association. I headed up marketing for a $4 billion business. I've done a bunch of things. I've been a VC in Silicon Valley. I started 4 companies. I'm on my 5th. The third one, we served clients in 16 countries. The 4th company almost bankrupted me. I just didn't file for it. And so I learned a lot of lessons. I'm writing a book right now with Marshall Goldsmith, whom some of you may know. He's ranked the world's #1 executive coach. He wrote What Got You Here Won't Get You There, about the playbook of immigrant achievers. So I've interviewed over 100 immigrant achievers, Nobel Prize winners, president of FedEx, father of the Intel Pentium, all kinds of people. But I'm writing that book on the Jersey Shore. And when this Corona thing hit, it kind of shook me up. And right now I've put my writing, and I'm also a public speaker. I've spoken to large audiences. I put all that on hold. I'm using my MIT connections to currently build a platform that will connect volunteers with people in need anywhere across the country. So you call up and say, I want to help John. And John says, I need groceries. I don't have money. Mary says, I'm willing to help. We are building a platform that will connect these people, and it goes through a whole bunch of logic. And it's scalable to several hundreds of thousands, maybe more. So that platform will be ready tomorrow. And we are doing this as a group of, I'm an immigrant from India, you can probably tell from my accent. So we've formed what's called the Immigrant Volunteers Network, which will pull together several hundred immigrant groups across the country. And we'll pool all our resources to make this happen in the form of volunteers and so on. My contribution is I conceived of it, put it together, and building this platform. I have 8 people developing this right now. It'll be ready tomorrow.
Please put the link, by the way, put the link for us. Maybe we can sign up, or we can get a something.
Absolutely. Yeah, the website is not ready. So I'm a one-man band. I have a few people, and I've signed up the Mexican American Association, the Punjabi Chamber of Commerce. I've got a few people lined up without the website. One of my interests in jumping on this call is I know there are a number of marketing people. If there are any people who are willing to help us, this is a pro bono thing. We are going to reach out to easily a few 100,000 people, just so that you know there are 46 million immigrants in the United States, people who are born outside the country who live here today. So we're going to reach out to a whole bunch of people. So if you want visibility, I need help, putting the marketing plan together. I need help with social media. If anybody is interested, please ping me.
Ram, please put your
If there's
information.
anything I can do to help you, please let me know as well.
Yeah, put your information, and if you guys can help Ram, please chat directly. You guys can see in the chat, and we'll probably put some comments back on the meetups and events, so you can have that access again. Thanks, Ram, appreciate it. We'll have a couple more guys before we jump into our couple other things. We have you. Sorry, I don't have a name. Mojavi, that's I'm looking at your shirt.
Yes, how you doing?
Good.
Glad to be on the call. This is great, by the way. My name is Louis Cooney. I am the co-founder of Mojavi. Before this unforeseen virus showed up, we had built an app, the first in-app advertising for events, chambers of commerce, not-for-profits. And what we were trying to do is streamline the process, how people connect at events without having to use a business card. And so we have clients like Brooklyn College. They do a number of events. We work with chambers of commerce from New York, New Jersey, California. So as you can imagine, with this virus situation, it's really unknown when that space is going to open up again, when people will be able to meet and again in the near future. So in the meantime, my clients are asking us, how do we work around video conferencing? There is no networking, think about it, right? Except for the chat. So we are in the process right now doing looking at Zoom and a couple of other in-app solutions. How do we work around with our app so people can, for example, I'm seeing all this chat here. How do we do that through our app? So that's what we're working on right now. And Ram, I'm going to send you a message here, but we actually spoke years ago when I was back at IBM, and I remember you were working on this project. So I'd like to connect with you afterwards. And thank you again for inviting me to your call today.
Awesome. You got the link there, right? Podcast. Here we go. Oh no, that's the podcast. Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot. By the way, the podcast link didn't work. I think it needs to be done via my phone. There's something missing, Frank, so you can repost it. All right, we got. I think we might have one more, or we got everybody. Do we miss anyone? Going once, going twice. All right. I think we got everyone. All right,
I just signed in. I just signed in literally while you were counting down.
All right, let's do it. Just your name and how how this has impacted you real quick.
My name is Tajir. I own the DM firm, and I'm affected because my clients are having me do more business development than actually marketing and connecting them to loans.
Okay, wow, interesting. And that's one area that I'm getting at least 10 to 15 emails per day, giving me resources about the types of programs and loans. So I'm pretty sure you're busy.
Yeah, I just got off of a call with the city about all the funding sources and all that kind of stuff. So I can share that with you later.
Yeah, please do. You can put it in the chat. Again, guys, I'm emphasizing the chat. Put it in there so we can kind of spread the word out. All right, well, welcome everyone. Hopefully I didn't miss. I know we're gonna spill probably a few minutes over. I will go ahead and resume my screen here real quick. A couple of things I'll share with you before we go to a slightly structured conversation. What we've done here we added a couple of, well, we have this tool called email examples for popular brands. So if you don't know what to include in your emails, we already compiled hundreds of templates from popular brands. So if you go in here and you put COVID, you're gonna get, so far we have 4 different templates you can kind of get inspirations from to kind of copy paste it or use it for your clients. So these are some great content. It's easy to get inspiration from here. and use it for yourself. So I'm going to share this resource with you. Got a word from the team that I'm good to go with that. Let me see here. All right, here we go. So that's the first thing. The second thing I wanted to announce for you guys is one of the, so if you don't know what VBOUT does, in a nutshell, we have a marketing automation platform. And we do email marketing, we do social media scheduling like a Hootsuite. We have a landing page builder, and we also have an automation builder. This is probably our core product, which is being able to drag and drop and build up like your follow-up sequences of events. So for instance, what happens when somebody attends the webinar? You send them an email follow-up, you send them an SMS notification, you can push them to a retargeting campaign on Facebook or AdWords. So you can literally build out this entire flow right from within VBOUT, okay? This is not by any means a product demo. I just wanted to give you a quick intro. But what we're offering right now, because of this event, is a 3-month free membership to VBOUT for any business that's been impacted. So if you know someone who wants to do email and social and build out some of these sequences, they could definitely get access to a package through this link, which I'll also share with you. All right. So this is an example of a page that we built on VBOUT. You can also do the same. They could do it. And just getting access for 3 months at no cost maybe helps them connect to their communities and so on. That will definitely be of value, hopefully. So I'll share the link with you. Actually, Hadba, thank you for sharing. I will share it again. All right. That's so that's
Richard, are you with this company?
Yeah, this is my company. I'm the co-founder. We've been working on this project for quite some time.
We should talk. Maybe you can support. See, we are a registered nonprofit, so this
yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's dive into a couple of things. I want to discuss 6 things that we've compiled across all the hundreds of resources that really kind of joins together as far as idea goes. And I would love to get maybe some feedback. Let's keep it short so we can cover all the point if you don't mind. So the first thing that we've done, and I've heard a lot of clients really appreciate this, is speaking to clients. So picking up the phone, calling them, asking them how they're doing, what is the situation, how has this impacted them, how you can be of help. Any of you have done that? And if you have a method of how you're doing it and how the feedback has been on that, that would be great.
Early on, go ahead.
Oh, so I was just gonna say, like, I updated and customized a CRM for not only my clients, but anyone who's in the pipeline in general, and reached out personally via text message or calling, anything that's most empathetic for them, and just to show that it's, not everything's business, and then try to maintain the relationship for after everything blows over.
It's awesome, Jason. How did they perceive it? How was that the reaction?
We kept everything very personal. So I'm pretty sure they perceived it as like very good, since it's not salesy at all. I'm not looking to try to generate profit. I'm actually looking forward to hearing about their well-being, their family. And then,
awesome.
I put a reminder to check in every maybe 2 weeks or so, at least 2-3 weeks, and then to see, maintaining the relationship while this whole thing is still blowing over.
No ask, no sell, nothing. Of course,
nothing.
Right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Unless they initiate the conversation. That's a different conversation.
Right, of course. But that could be an opener, right? Because a lot of people are not getting to what they want to do, and then all of a sudden you call and they're like, yeah, we really want to start this. It's a good thing that you called. So it's almost like you're aligning what they're planning to do with your expertise. So that's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new situation for everyone, and sometimes they don't know what they need yet, unless like they get used to the whole Corona pandemic. And then now I'm seeing after a couple weeks, people need our services because they're adjusting.
Awesome, thanks a lot. Anybody else would like to have done this? What was any method you'd like to share with us on doing it properly, etc.?
I've actually started doing this first back in the beginning of March, started calling folks just to check on them. my recommendation, at least for myself personally, has been always inquire about their family and keep in mind that somebody knows someone who's already been lost to the coronavirus. And so even when I see something being posted on Instagram or Facebook, I'll reach out to that person and say, I recently heard this person passed away. I knew you were connected with them, and my condolences to you and your friendship. So that's something that's the world. I think everybody's being in touch somehow in that area.
All right, it's great. Anyone else have done that approach? I mean, it's interesting that you're doing that via LinkedIn and you're actually reaching out to people who has been impacted, even if they're not your clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just have the connection, you've been reaching out as well?
I have. So I'm using all the tools. So I'm using Instagram, LinkedIn, and phones, all the methods out there. So if I know someone through the network or something, I'm reaching out. At this point in time, if you listen to some of the experts out there, they're saying those who are humanizing this experience will come out ahead. And I'm trying to put that first. It is about the communities. It is about the individual. It's not about my company or the economy or where I stand financially. It's really about the state of mind. And just prior to this call, a close friend of ours passed away. Him and his wife passed away. And so I knew a friend were very close. I reached out just again to give him a sense of that somebody out there cares and is thinking about them.
Right, that's awesome. And I have a friend who actually is reaching out to his 4,200 connections on LinkedIn, one by one, to say, hey, I appreciate having you as a connection. I would love to see if I can be of any help on how you're doing during the. And I thought that was insanely time consuming, but at the other side, he had nothing else to do because he was out of work. So good approach. Thank you. Anybody else would like to add on that before we move on to the second point?
Richard, a quick thing. This is Ram here. See, one of the things
Hello.
I did was I have a number of clients, coaching and speaking clients. I've reached out and they've been simply touched that I remembered them and I called them. And which leads me to think that, I have about 10,000 connections on LinkedIn. I want to send a message to people saying, thinking about you. I've gotten only one such message from all of my contacts at LinkedIn so far. So I'm thinking there's an opportunity. If you're the 27th guy saying, I hope you're doing okay, just like, oh no, not another message like this again. So if anybody has any ideas on doing that, I think that might be a good thing to do.
Rich, could I say?
Of course.
I think, reaching out just for the sake of reaching out it's a little like fake in a way. If you just reach out just to say that in the hope of selling. I think if you're reaching out and you're trying to sell to a specific group of people. So for example, we're working on a campaign right now to give tutoring services to medical professionals. So we're acknowledging how hard it is that they're risking their lives. They can't see their kids all day. So instead of saying, hey, do you want to buy online tutoring? We're just saying, how are you even managing your kids? So first, we're just trying to understand where they're at, what their current status is, and being empathetic. And then, asking them questions of how they're tutoring. So it's, the impulse, right away is to just close the deal. So I think the key thing is, like you guys, a lot of you are saying to be empathetic, but I think it needs to be empathetic in relation to a specific scenario, just not being empathetic in a vacuum,
Good point. Good point.
Can I add to what Sean said? That's actually a very good point because I had a broker actually reach out to me, just checking in on me, but I haven't spoke to the guy for like 5 years ago, like for 5 years, and he tried to sell me like back then. And even though he's not trying to sell me now, in the back of my head, I already have that negative connotation that I know he's going to try to, warm me up to try to sell me later. So it's like already in the back of my head, I'm like, this guy's like, he's no good for me. I don't want to be the same negative in someone else's mind.
It's funny. Someone messaged me about doing like this thing I don't want to do, like a webinar, and I ignored it. So then someone else on the team wrote me today, and they say, "Hey, how are your family doing and everything?" Because I know as soon as I respond, they're gonna want me to do this presentation, but I already know exactly what they're doing. So exactly.
Don't forget, guys, we are marketers. A lot of us here on this call, not everybody, but a lot of us are marketers. So we understand intent, we understand process. A lot of people are not in that mindset. Of course, people see through the black and white, and sometimes they know there's a long-term agenda, but a lot of people don't. So if we, I think there should be a balance there, just like you said, Sean. There should be some proper context to the, mindset that the person is in. but at the same time, not everybody's gonna analyze it as much as we are as marketers. That's just my 2 cents to it. All right, awesome. That's a good point, guys. Let's move on to the second point. And I'm sorry, I just have to speed up through this to be respectful of everybody's time. So any of you has productized or created a product specific to the offering, or let's say if you're a digital agency, all of a sudden you're offering webinar production, webinar hosting, and webinar process. Anybody has done that? Okay. Some of you might be a little shy to speak if you're a newcomer, but I've seen some successful partners. They really created one niche product on this specific event, right? Whether if you're a chef, the product can be, I'm gonna cook for you and your family online, so I'm gonna just do a cooking show. If you are in the marketing communication space, maybe one of the things is offering this very specific email marketing once a week for your community, or maybe even managing your own Facebook group if you have one. So we've seen some of these actually really stand out, and they're, I would say, a discounted price offer on that particular product. That has worked well for some of the partners. So I'm wondering if anybody can add to that, or I can move on to the next point.
This is Ram again. I'm new, but I'm not shy. See, I've created a niche product, like I told you about this book that I'm writing. Without getting into detail, very simply, it's focused on people who are graduates from the Ivy Plus, basically Ivy plus 8 other schools. The idea here is once I offer it to that group, other people will want it because it's something that's special. I'm trying to figure out how to target these people on LinkedIn beyond just saying which school do they go to. Has anybody had any experience in targeting niches like that, particularly on a large platform like LinkedIn?
I would definitely say Sean is the king of this stuff. Sean, I know this is a lot of stuff that could be taken offline as well, but any quick 1 minute feedback for you, for Ram?
What's your product again?
It's a 8-week online course for how you can reinvent your life, particularly for people who think they're not as successful that they ought to be.
Damn, I could use that.
Yeah, no, believe me, it's I can, let me give you briefly what this is. Most people are flailing through life because they haven't set clear goals, and they set goals based upon what other people think they ought to. In other words, it's sexy, but it's not aligned with who they are. So I've interviewed 110 people, and I figured out that I can talk to you about an hour and a half, and I can tell you the key elements of the mindset, your personal mindset, that drive who you are, and then help you to map that to this I have a sweet spot diagram. It's a Venn diagram with 5 circles. I have to do that with my engineering mind, and then I can help you put a plan together that is aligned with who you are. You're more likely to achieve it. And then how do you change your mindset that holds you back? I figured out techniques after interviewing a whole bunch of people, including the president of the what is that, hypnosis, American Hypnosis Association, etc. So I can do this, and I think that this niche Ivy Plus group might be one that's particularly receptive, and they have the money to do it.
Well, I just quick, because I know we're over on the meeting, but I went to an Ivy League school and I teach at one right now, the same one. So maybe I teach franchising there, and what I learned that actually people from schools that aren't Ivy are actually more receptive to franchising than Ivy schools, because there's a little bit of elitism and they want to do like investment banking and finance and those jobs, where people in schools where they're not as prevalent in those fields, they're more open to other things. So I would really question if just because it sounds like a cool idea, if that's where you want to go, number one. But number two, you could target universities on LinkedIn. But even if you target universities, you need to say, I'm not going after students. Am I going after faculty? Am I going after grad students? Am I going after lawyers? So there's so many layers that you have to peel in the persona, that I just want to blanket that you just want to go after Ivy League schools,
Oh, no,
so
I have the persona laid out in very great detail.
And
but yeah, LinkedIn has.
Guys.
Yeah.
That's great, guys. I think. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say,
I think
you can get a free month of Sales Navigator, and you could put on filters. So I would just get the free month.
Okay, good. Thank you.
highly recommend LinkedIn Sales Navigator, guys. You can really get deep into your search and identify the persona. And I'm sorry I'm interrupting. It's just because we have to move on to the next points with respect to everybody. Okay. Please connect, share the information, add Sean add Sean on LinkedIn, because he can be of great value. I know he's very busy, but he can always provide value when time permitting. All right, so another point here, if anybody's done that, please share with us. Have you offered, and I've heard this as a formula, 20 to 30% of service, whether it's service cost cutting or maybe time for free for X amount of month. Like in our case, we're doing the product for 3 months at no cost at all. But others have offered their service at 30% discounted amount, or they've offered 30% of their time at no cost at all. So it'll be maybe 1 or 2 clients managing them for free, and then the rest will be at the normal price. Anybody has done that?
I've done that. What I've done actually is I've been offering free consultations, and people that want to talk to me further, I let them do it at donation only for 3 months.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's smart, actually, putting that donation, because it seems like, and I've noticed this, a lot of people have different pockets when it comes to personal spend versus professional spend. So when you do this, the consultation, you ask for money, it's their personal pocket, I mean the professional pocket. But when you're doing as a donation, sometimes it's a little bit tapping into their personal side. So usually it's deeper pocket when it's personal. And so I've seen. Anybody else? Awesome. All right, so the fourth point here is, thinking about how to activate the soft lead at cheaper cost. I don't know if you guys have heard, but Google and Facebook are going to lose approximately about $43 billion estimate this year on advertisers. So they take it a big, obviously combined. And this is why, primary reason, they launched this program, and they're giving free credits, and they're doing some assistance. But the cost per lead has dropped down significantly for a lot of companies. So they're not buying now, but they're doing more research now. So any of you want to add to that? Because I know the soft lead activation is cheaper. Maybe it's a longer sales cycle, but the ad spend, you should get a lot more maybe in 3 to 6 months when this starts to fade away a bit. Anybody want to add to that?
I think it's a really good observation that we should really be thinking about a little bit long term and just investing. And that's where you can do a little bit more, like nice things rather than like salesy, more like educational, et cetera, type of stuff, because you're not looking for a close today. But people really respond to that, and 3-6 months from now, I think it could really pay off.
And you being in a local service,
like a visibility ad or something like that on Facebook, where it's more about just let me put this in the most people feeds as possible versus trying to get clicks and engagement and that kind of stuff, could be a good play.
Good point, Andrew. And probably your costs as a you're a local business, right, Andrew, as a paint company.
Yeah.
So your cost per click probably varies, right? But do you have an idea what you used to pay if you want to? Did you ever run a paid ad campaign?
Yeah, we do quite a bit of it, and impressions are really, really cheap, but actually when it goes all the way through the cycle to getting actually a sale put together through Facebook versus just my general network and just being out in the community and known and stuff like that, it kind of costs a lot through Facebook the way we have it set up right now to actually get a paint job off of it compared to some other streams that we have. But it's very inexpensive just to do general, I think it's called awareness on Facebook, general awareness, public awareness or something like that. I mean, you can get an extreme amount of views and stuff if you're not trying to close like today.
Got it. Okay, cool. Anyone want to add to that before we move on to the next point?
I'll just add briefly, this is Scott. I mean, what we're talking about, right, is branding. And this is a great time to just stay on the radar without actually selling. So just keep the brand in front of people at a lower spend. Just kind of, I think that's exactly what, I guess, who was just speaking, Frank, was speaking about.
Right. That's a personal local, I mean, local branding, exactly. Andrew, right? It was Andrew that's speaking.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, well, I think it's in the same token. One thing that I have been doing is just talking to people. This could be clients, or this could be just people that somehow they want to learn more. What is it that they can do? Is just get a conversation. Once you get the conversation going, very, very quickly will come up something that you can help them with. And then I think it's an opportunity, first of all, to really help them, because I've seen that in my case, I consider myself a business consultant with specialized in digital marketing. I happen to specialize in that, but there is so much that we can do for a lot of businesses, so much. So just what I'm saying here is just get that conversation, and the opportunity to help will come up very quickly.
Okay, that's a good point. And I'm sorry, I didn't know who's speaking. I couldn't see your name here. Sorry. Who's speaking? Mauricio. Okay, sorry. Okay, now I see your screen. Cool. Thanks, Mauricio. That's a good point. Yeah, exactly. How much can we contribute is really one of the points, actually, which is, that was my other points. But one of the points here is applying to every offer, discount, credit, or business assistance. And I realized, I've reached out to every vendor I have, just tell them, what are you offering, as far as, help to businesses and startups who are below X amount of millions in revenue and stuff like that. Surprisingly, every single vendor is offering some sort of a discount or help or assistance. So I think if you are reaching out to your vendors, it's great that, to ask, it doesn't hurt. And you'll be surprised. I mean, so far I'm up to about $35,000 in yearly saving this year, just because I asked. It goes a long way. So another thing that you guys can do, or maybe bringing this up to your clients, is have you applied to any discounts or offers from, have you spoken to your vendors? What kind of business assistance provided locally by your government? And I know this is different in every area. So that's another area where it could be an event by itself. And I think one of the attendees here forgot the name. They actually mentioned that a bit. It was you, Tasamir. I think you mentioned you're doing that.
Yes. So just briefly, I'm an urban planner by profession, and I used to work for a business improvement district here in New York City. So I have access to all the bids. That means I have access to the city. And so I can ask them for more clarification about loans. And I have connections with people that do loans in other states. So that's really how I'm helping my businesses.
Can you share any resources with us as a community? Is that possible?
Yes, so I put something in the chat. So one of the things in New York City, we had like SBS was offering loans, but now that has closed. So now you can only do the SBA, the emergency disaster loan, or the other loan that came from the administration. The emergency disaster loan is available now. It's like a 2-page application that you can get, and they're supposed to make a deposit of $10,000 into your account and then give you the rest later. And then the one that's coming through from the government, that one you have to go to your personal banking institution, and whichever one you have a line of credit with, that's where you have to go and do the loan in person with them.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah, I don't see the link unless it's, if you don't mind just resharing it with us, that would be awesome.
It was just like a chat, but I can share you the link. I just have to go find it.
Okay, great. And by the way, guys, we've shared our Facebook community. It's a group we just started. I would love to get you guys on board to kind of share with the community and draft people. We got to be ramping up our efforts there. So any value you can provide, and this is to Mauricio's point, is how we can collaborate together, how we can speak from the heart. Everyone here is an expert in their field, and I know everybody here is very helpful in what they do, right? Most of us are open to doing joint webinars to bring our expertise to your own processes. So just changing the tone a little bit, providing value, postpone the ask. that really helps a lot. So I know I'm open to having some joint webinars, time permitting. I know a few of us here on the call as well. They could provide expertise in the matter. So feel free to reach out to us to see if you're doing online webinars or online events. This could be a channel for everyone to participate and help each other.
And Rich, I've worked with Mauricio before. I've seen a lot of people respond to incoming clients, and he's probably has one of the most genuine approaches I've ever seen. So if you guys want to learn how to like respond to incoming leads and how to manage that, Mauricio is really an expert on that.
Yeah, Mauricio is awesome. I've attended a couple of Mauricio's online events for sure. Mauricio, if you have left already, you can leave the email here. That would be awesome. Thank you, Mauricio.
Actually, I'm still here, but I was about to leave, but I heard my name, so I came back. Yeah, if I can help in any way, absolutely. Yeah, I'll leave my email here. Yeah, and thank you very much, Richard, for putting this together.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I know you have to go. The last thing I want to share with you guys is this quick webinar funnel. So if you guys are working with any of your customers and you want to start building your webinar packages, I want to spend maybe 2 more minutes on sharing with you like a good kind of flow of how it works. So that's probably, some things are just straightforward. You're sending out emails, but it always comes down to creating that value. And let me just minimize this. All right, so first is getting the traffic, right? Getting the traffic to the registration page. So usually as a webinar or an online, Zoom event or whatever you're doing, there's usually a landing page that you have to build. And on that landing page, maybe you have a quick 2-minute of yourself talking about what the webinar will be about and a call to action to register for the webinar. And obviously the traffic is the most important. So how do you drive traffic to that page is where you tap into your email marketing list, you go to your LinkedIn, and you can even create an event there. So events on LinkedIn is probably the next big thing because they notify you on the invite. You can spend a little bit of money kind of creating that basic ad and driving people to the page. Your natural or organic posts or Facebook page. You can send emails to your connections, direct connections, and maybe some activity on your Instagram. So you're driving traffic to the page is probably going to be the most challenging part. But once people are there, they register. One thing I recommend doing is immediately put them in a retargeting audience, right? Because that's going to serve you later, maybe 2-3 months down the road when you're going to activate ads because things are starting to kick back in gear. And from here, obviously, there's a series of things that could happen. You use thank you email. Then you do the 1-day reminder and the day off reminder, and then you send them to the webinar, right? And from here, you can send a recording and thank you because not everybody who registers actually attends, right? So it's smart to have recording, sending a link to the recording, and you house that recording. And then you can create some sort of a nurture campaign. That's where you apply your own tone in your own business to maybe down the road, whether it's a month, 2 or 3 months, you try to get them to your buy page or the sell page, right? Now, just keep in mind, this can be completely restructured, but we've seen this kind of format of a webinar funnel works really well. Feel free to, take it and share it or apply it to your own customers. And all this stuff, by the way, most of it, landing pages, emails, the offer, and all that nurture campaigns can be done on VBOUT. So claim the offer, and would love to have you kind of apply this for yourself or for your clients. All right, other than that, I think we really spilled over, but this was awesome. Did you guys like the format today? Was it helpful?
Yeah, this is great. It kept a good clip as well, Rich.
Okay, awesome. I know there's a lot more we can share with each other, guys. So please feel free to reach out. I put my email already, so I'll just keep that on for a few minutes for you guys to catch up on the comments in the chat. Reach out to me if you have any questions. You want to do joint events, you want to do anything together in the community. I think we should be open to that.
Yeah, if
Finally,
anybody's looking for a book recommendation, The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz is a great one. We're talking about being a resource for your customer. It's an awesome book.
Yeah, it is. Amazing book, actually. And we're gonna meet next week, same time, 5 o'clock. Same link. We'll be creating those events on Meetup and on LinkedIn and on the Facebook page, which is already in the chat. Would love to have you and invite anybody who you think can also get value from this. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and I really hope to see you next week, same time. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Rich.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good one,
I'll leave the
everyone.
chat on for you guys to catch up, okay? Before I close the session.
I can't find the email. Hello. Is it just me or can I not find Richard's email?
It should be in the chat. I give
Probably in
it
the
to you.
chat
It's Rich.
section.
Yeah, it's Rich at VBOUT in the
Okay.
chat. Rich,
Thank you.
RICH at VBOUT.com. No, thank you. All right, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and end this session. If you have missed any of the comments, any of the chat items, links, we'll try to compile them and put them as a comment in the events. So thank you again for joining us. See you next week.